Well, I came to England as an unaccompanied child refugee at the age of 5. So what I remember, all the childish things, not the history, not the strategy. It was the lost doll rather than the lost home, the little boy that kept being sick. It was fairly traumatic, and I've certainly never forgotten it. I can't say I resented being sent away because I didn't really understand what was going on. You know, what is England and why am I going there? So it was an important part of my life. Well, survivor guilt is something that's so counterintuitive. You know, you'd think you'd be very happy at having been saved when you know that 1.5 million children died at that time. But it is something that you have, it's quite common apparently, people who've been to near-death experiences in different ways. If there's any solution, it's through compassion, and so it proved for me that I really have been able to get through that survivor guilt with help. I think it's driven my life. It was a hindrance, and I think emotionally, but from the business point of view, I think it's driven it. I desperately needed to make mine a life that was worth saving. And that means that I don't fritter my days away. And I'm still working at the age of 85, and shall continue to work as long as I can. I had to change schools twice in order to get the tuition for the mathematics, which was really my passion, don't ask me why. Girls in those days were not expected to study science, so I finished up at a boys' school, a useful forerunner of the sexism of the workplace. I still loved mathematics, but I soon learned when I started working that I didn't have it in me to contribute at all. And I was very lucky because computers came along and you needed mathematics in those days to work on computers. And suddenly overnight I fell in love with computing. Most people start businesses in order to make money. I didn't. It was a crusade for women. I was sick and tired of the sexism in the workplace. I had worked in a large government department, I'd worked in a small entrepreneurial and super company, and in both of them I was sort of feeling blocked and hitting the glass ceiling. So it was for me, I am going to start a company that is friendly to women, that's the sort of company I would want to work for. And I measured it in terms of how many women we employed, rather than the bottom line as to how much, if any, profit we'd made. I'm a very stubborn person. I wasn't going to fail because of domestic responsibilities. And so the determination not to have women looking foolish, the determination not to have me looking foolish, really kept me going through difficult times. A lot of people were surprised that I was able to build up what became a very successful business at the same time as rearing a very, very difficult child. And in fact, the two complemented each other for many years. But eventually I couldn't take it anymore. I wasn't functioning and I had a good old-fashioned nervous breakdown. So I always say to women, when the stresses are very high, get help, stop working full-time, get your work life into some sort of balance, because otherwise, like me, you let everybody down because you just can't cope. By the time that this company was sold, and it was certainly not my decision, about a quarter of it was owned by the staff. I still had, I think, 13% or something like that, which was worth 150 million, which was significant money to anybody. What could I do with that? I had already made arrangements to care for my very vulnerable autistic son, Giles. We were not going to have a yacht and sail around the world. The quality of my husband and I's life is to be able to have a choice as to what we spend our time on. And in the main, these are not material things. there are only so many hot dinners that you can have, and I hope I would always have been a liberal, but I was given so much myself as a child that it seemed almost inevitable that I should give back. And I have so enjoyed my philanthropic world. It's very like running a business. Their projects, their people, their problems, their little successes, and it has suited me for the last 25 years to really be a philanthropist. And by philanthropy, I don't mean charity. There is a difference. If I give 50p to somebody, that's a generous act of charity. But once I start really thinking, as I do, of the strategy, what is this person doing? Why do they need help? Why are they not in accommodation? Then that becomes philanthropic. And I'm reading about I'm reading about problems. I'm trying to do new things. I'm trying to act as a guide star to others. It becomes a lifestyle and suits me very well. I really think I shall be remembered for opening doors for women, and I'm very happy with that. I still care about women. I still work a little bit with younger women. I'm working with one of the tech giants to help them employ more women, because it's so long ago. I mean, I started my women's company in 1962, and that has really made a difference for the women coming behind me. It's a crusade. My focus currently, and probably for the next few years, is definitely philanthropy. I focus on the things that I know and care about, and that's just information technology, my professional discipline, and autism, my late son's disorder. And it is absorbing. I'm starting to think in terms of the legacy of that philanthropy, just in the process of setting up a UK philanthropy archive at Kent University. So these are typical of the sort of projects that I like to do and am continuing to do.